Gotta love being on the road. Gotta love being on the road. Yeah, that's why they didn't ask me to sing ever. I used to be able to sing back in college. It's kind of crazy, right? Like I used to be really good. Like people would come to my dorm room. We would sing. We would have little concerts, all that good stuff. I don't know what happened to all that. Like it went away, like bad. Went far right, like the extreme opposite from being able to sing to like making dogs howl. That's basically the transformation that's happened in my life when it comes to my singing career. Hey, check it out. We are getting we're gonna have French Montana join us. He's gonna pop in on the show today. I don't know if you know who French Montana is or not, but we're gonna talk about that. We're also gonna go back to when I was in kindergarten. Golly, I will be. Oh my gosh, I will be 45. I will be 45 years old next week, like 6 days from now. That's kind of crazy. But we're going to go back to when I was in kindergarten. We're also going to talk about a little bit about authenticity, and we're going to really dive into on how you can leverage your gifts to ultimately inspire others. All right, so we're going to do all of that and more on today's episode of GM3X. I'm so grateful you're here. As you can see, I'm coming to you from my hotel room in Miami, Florida. It's going to be a great show. I'm also going to explain what the heck is going on with this thing called the Great American Speak Off. Are you ready for all that? I hope you're ready, because it's time to rise and grind. Welcome to GM3X. I am your host, Glenn Lundy. I am a husband to one, a father to eight, and the founder of the 800% Elite Club. I hope you're ready for motivation, education, inspiration, celebrity interviews, and thought-provoking conversations, because it's 5:30 a.m. and it's time to rise and grind. Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? Dude, today is, what day of the week? Wednesday, that's right. Today is Wednesday, aka CMA Day. What does that mean, CMA Day? Well, that means Carter Myers Automotive Group, the most amazing automotive dealership group in the world, as far as I'm concerned. The reason we call Wednesdays CMA days is because for the last that's a different angle, right? Haven't seen that angle before. I don't know if I like that angle. For the last, it's just weird. We're used to coming from the other side. I was like, whoa! For the last, how many years has it been now? For the last few years, I have had the honor, the privilege, and the plum-pleasing pleasure of being able to work with the amazing folks over there at Carter Myers Automotive Group every single Wednesday with Scott Simons and Liza Myers-Borges and the rest of the crew over there. My guy Josh O, who's on here this morning, we get to see him on Wednesdays. And so it's Carter Myers Automotive. It's CMA Day, right? CMA Day. And it's always an honor. Today, I won't actually get to spend time with them today because I am in Miami, Florida, and I am here. It's a big day. It's a big day, and it starts off great, or like it starts off early. We got to start off at 7 a.m. If the location is supposed to be a secret, I don't know what that means, right? But it starts off at 7 a.m. And so today, I will not be on with Carter Myers, but I'll be there in spirit. And my dear friend Danelle Delgado will be leading the charge over there. But again, that's a side note. I'm coming to you live from Miami, Florida. And today is day one of a competition that is called the Great American Speak Off. And check this video out. This will give you kind of some context of what this is all about. So check this out.
You cannot show me a route to success that does not involve stages. There is none. You cannot give me one person on planet Earth that has ever made it, become known, improve the quality of planet Earth without having a stage. You're like, I'm the best speaker in the world, but you don't have an audience, so you're not a speaker, because a speaker has an audience. And the bigger that audience is, the better the speaker you are, because you can transform more lives because of your message. We're going to take stages, and we're going to make stages a TV show, like American Idol. Yeah! Yeah. We're going to discover the next Les Brown. We're going to discover the next Tony Robbins. We're going to go out around the country, put it on TV. We're going to find the next Barack Obama. We're going to find the next great orator on this planet.
So that's basically what it looks like in a nutshell, right? And I auditioned to be a part of the show. They auditioned somewhere between 6,000 and 8,000 people, and I was selected. And here I am in the semifinals right here in Miami. And so today competition starts at 7 a.m. and goes through tomorrow evening. And between today at 7 a.m. and tomorrow evening, they will select the top three. The top three will go to the finals. And the finals will be in Las Vegas in February. Now, this contest, they've got producers here. So they're looking to produce it into a TV show like American Idol or America's Got Talent. So there's producers here from Discovery Channel, and they're really trying to push this thing. So it's kind of cool. It's a big opportunity. I'm super excited about it. And yeah, so that's what's happening. And it's kind of cool because since I was in kindergarten, literally since I was in kindergarten, I have always loved speaking in front of a crowd. I've just absolutely loved it, right? Like the ability to inspire people through the power of words, right? The ability to inspire using nothing but my voice. Like it's just always been something that's really resonated with me, right? I've just always found it fascinating. And one day, my hope is to be able to use my voice and the words that God flows through me. My hope is to use that in combination with the technology that we have now here in 2022 to really be able to impact millions, if not billions of people worldwide. Just small goals. Just small goals. Nothing big, right? Nothing big. But that's really my hope. It's been on my heart for a really, really long time to be able to have that, be able to make a positive impact and positively influence people. Kind of like my boy French Montana is doing right now with his life and his career and what he did in New York City this past weekend. Right outside my hotel room, French Montana did something absolutely crazy. And we're going to talk about it today on GM3X. Before we do, though, you know what we got to do on this show. Come on, man. There it is. Wake up. Come on now. Let's go. It's time to do some dancing. An object in motion tends to stay in motion. An object at rest tends to stay at rest. So we need to get in motion. All right, we got to get moving this morning. If you're laying in bed, I need you to get up. It's time for you to rock and roll. There's probably people in this hotel right now that are not very happy about me having to yell at you to get up. But you know how I feel about that? They need to get up too. Come on now. It's already 5:43. Are you kidding me? Been up for 2.5 hours. I'm 2.5 hours ahead. Hey, this is also the part of the show where I need you to hit that share button. All right, I need you to hit that share button because I believe if we can help people change the way they start their day, it'll make a massive impact on this planet. I truly believe that. And sometimes all it takes to help people change the way they start their day is for you to hit that share button. Now, this is also the part of the show where I want to say good morning to you and I want you to say good morning to me. Whether you're watching this on live or you're watching on replay, say what's up and I'll say what's up back. Fair enough? Fair enough. I see Tracy Hill is in the building today. What's up, Tracy? How you doing, Melvin Rodriguez? I'm glad you're here as well. We've got Bella Rigby in the building. What's up, Bella? Gloria Bond is up in here. Sonia Merritt, great to see you. Leisha Watts, Ryan Gallagher is up in here today. I see Shantice Harrigan, Vicky Everett, Natasha Smith, E. Sparks is up in here today as well. Russell Tabone, what up, Russell? Tara Murney, asking you shall receive. Don Sankey, Sonia Merritt, Kevin Fadley are up in here today. What's up, Bruce Culver? Tina Kelly Overfelt, thanks for the kind words. I appreciate you. Marilyn Wilkin, Carrie Lynn Carter, Yo Beecraft is up in here. Shelly Jean and Josh O. What's up, West Storm? How you doing? Jacqueline Underwood in the building today. Pastor Jeff, obviously, appreciate you, sir, carrying it through for us today. Christina Howard, Dora Maria, I see y'all dancing over there. I love that. What's up, Ramon? How you doing, Justin? Justin, I just shipped your planner yesterday up there to Canada. It was awesome filling out the cover, and I'm super excited to run through 2023 with you. The Queen, Renee Nora, is in the building. What's up, Core Element? We talked about you a lot yesterday. Coco and Annette, Tony's here, Patty's here, Don Sankey, Dr. Fred, Mac and Fiona, Bettina. Woo! Bettina, I signed a planner for you too yesterday. Peter and Andy and Melvin and Mindy and William. Linnell Burns in the building, Brandon and Maria. You guys are all awesome. Thanks so much for running with me right here on GM3X. You guys are awesome. You guys are incredible. All right, so let's dive in. Let's continue this conversation. We're going to talk a little bit about French Montana and the crazy thing he did right outside of my hotel room this weekend. It was off the chain. So I don't know how many of you are paying attention to the World Cup. Just go ahead and drop it in the comments if you're following the World Cup soccer-wise. I never used to pay any attention to soccer whatsoever. However, my son insists that he is going to be a professional soccer player when he grows up. And so we've watched him play soccer for the last 3 or 4 years now. I still don't quite understand all the elements of the game. But it's been cool watching and learning and growing with him. And so for those of you that aren't watching World Cup soccer, or if you are, there's a team from Morocco. And this team from Morocco, they won. They beat Portugal on, I believe that was Saturday night, right? They beat Portugal on Saturday night, and it was the first time ever in the history of the World Cup that an African nation advanced to the semifinals, right? First time ever that an African nation advanced to the semifinals. And it was also a big deal, not only because it was the first time an African nation had ever done that, but it was also a big deal because this African nation, Morocco, is Muslimic in the majority of the people practice Muslim as their religion, and it is their culture is very male dominant, right? It's a very male dominant culture, and so these Moroccans and this team, as they won, it was amazing because it showed them celebrating their mothers. There was a video of them dancing with their moms. There was posts that were made on social media. Thank you, mom. Thank you, mom. Thank you, mom. Like they just were their culture was very mom centric, but the overall Islamic culture was very male centric, right? And so it was kind of this fascinating thing where all these grown men, first time doing something in sports, and they were all celebrating their mothers. And so it was a big deal, man. And there were Moroccan flags waving all over Times Square in New York City while my daughter and I had just got done coming out of, Willow and I had just got done coming out of Dave & Buster's. That's where we were, right? We were at Dave & Buster's. We were doing some shopping, so on and so forth. All of a sudden, there's flags flying everywhere, and people are cheering. They're dancing in the streets and all these kinds of things. We didn't really know exactly what was going on. We just knew that people were celebrating, and that was a great energy to be around. And so my daughter and I went back to the hotel, and we were back at the hotel, and Willow was standing out on the balcony. I was laying on the bed, and Willow was standing out on the balcony, and she says, "Dad, there's like a bazillion people down there." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, honey, it's Times Square. Of course there's a bazillion people down there." And she's like, No, Dad. Right around the red steps, because our balcony, we were at the 33rd floor of the Times Square Edition Hotel, which I highly recommend, right? Amazing hotel right in the middle of Times Square is amazing. We were on the 33rd floor. Our balcony overlooked, when you look down, we saw the red steps that are famous that you see in all types of movies and stuff. Broadway was right there, all of the things, right? And so right out the window, she's like, "No, Dad, like, for real, there's a ton of people." And so I go and I look out the window, and there's tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people all of a sudden all in one area, and they're waving the Moroccan flags, and they're cheering, and they're dancing, and the noise is like electric. It's overpowering all the other noises that are happening in New York City. You just hear these voices of people just chanting and cheering and celebrating all in this one particular area. And so it was fascinating. I was like, wow, this is really a big deal. And so we looked out, and we kind of, enjoyed that. Willow and I enjoyed that for just a minute. And after that, I laid down on the bed, and I pulled out my phone. And when I pulled out my phone, I went onto Instagram, and there was a video of French Montana in Times Square. And it was on his page, and he had said, "Hey guys, let's go down. I'm down here at Times Square. You should come join me. We're celebrating Morocco," right? And there was a video. And then 3 hours later, 3 hours after he had posted the initial video saying, "Hey, we're going to go close down Times Square," this is what it looked like. So for those of you that are watching on Facebook, you can see this is from another angle. Obviously, this is not from his camera, but it's just wall to wall, shoulder to shoulder, ridiculous amounts of people down there, right? And literally with one post, right? Like, people were already celebrating Morocco, but with one post, French Montana was able to inspire tens of thousands of people to meet up in Times Square to celebrate this incredible moment in time. Now, I find it fascinating, and I tried to go down there and get a picture with him. It didn't work out. I tried. I'm like, oh, I'm going to go down there and get a picture of French Montana real quick. And this is the third time him and I have crossed paths in a weird way. The first time was through Sarah McCord, and then then there was this occasion, and then the second time was last time I was in Miami. He showed up at a club that I was at. Him and Jamie Foxx of all people. So that's the third time he's kind of came close and crossed my path. So I know I'm gonna get to meet this guy at some point. But that's a side note, right? He inspired tens of thousands of people to show up in this little tiny space and celebrate. And the question that we have to ask is how? Why? How and why, right? Like I don't know about you. Maybe I'm just weird, but I look at every single scenario and situation and I'm like, how and why? Like, I want to learn. Like, that's a big deal. When you can make a post using modern technology, when you can make a post and inspire tens of thousands of people to go out in 30-degree weather, to travel and battle whatever traffic it is they have to battle, to show up in Times Square, a hugely touristy area that most of the locals don't come to, when with one 45-second clip you can inspire that many people, dude, there's something there that I want. And so I'm like, how? Why? And in asking those questions, I learned more about this guy named French Montana. Some of you guys might not know who French Montana is. I didn't for the longest. If you look him up, though, he's got about 34 million followers on Instagram at this point. And you'll find, now that I've mentioned him, you're going to see him everywhere. Just so you know, he's going to start to show up everywhere, right, in your life. That's how it works. But this guy, French Montana, he, if you look at his history, it's really cool. He's the first artist born in Africa to sell 10 million units. First one ever. First artist actually born in Africa to sell over 10 million units of his music. He's also the first from the Bronx. He was born in Africa, immigrated to the Bronx when he was 13 years old, immigrated to New York City. He was the first from the Bronx to receive the diamond plaque, right? This dude's had 13 billion streams. Now, don't worry. I had no idea who French Montana was either. I had no idea who he was until like about a year ago when he had a run-in with Sarah McCord, right? That's when I first learned about French Montana. But this dude's a big stinking deal. You'll see him hanging out with Drake. You'll see him hanging out with presidents. Like, the dude he's a big deal. He's a major, massive influencer within that community. Now, if you're not in the hip hop community, you don't know about him yet, but you will. 13 billion streams, 10 million units sold. And here's why I know that you will learn more about French Montana, even if I wouldn't have brought him up today, is because of this right here. French Montana raised $226 million for Ugandan healthcare. $226 million to go back into the communities where he grew up to help healthcare with these African people. Do you look at how much money that is? $226 million, $250 million. Okay, do me a favor real quick. Name another one. Drop it in the comments. I want you to name another celebrity that you know has raised $250 million to help starving, desperate, desolate children in a foreign country. I've seen them do little galas where they raise $1 million here or raise $2 billion here. No, like that's awesome. I freaking love that. 226 million. I don't know very many that have raised $226 million. It's a big deal, right? You see, this dude is Moroccan born. This dude is an immigrant. He came over here at 13 years old and he worked his freaking tail off. French Montana, when I study, when I watch, that's right, Oprah's one. When I study and I watch and I say why and I say how, here's what I notice. This dude's he's not some one-hit wonder kid. He's not some dude that went viral because he made a song that was on TikTok and it blew up, right? Like that's not his story at all. This dude has busted his tail off every single day for the last 22 years. When you ask French Montana, he had a lot of adversity. When you ask French Montana about that adversity, he says, that adversity is what made me realize I need to boss up. You see, back when he was 13 years old, he used to interview other rappers in the area. He would make all these other videos and so on and so forth. And he would do his songs, but he wouldn't really get any chances. He wouldn't really get any opportunities. He was putting in the work. For 8 years, he interviewed other artists. For 8 years, he interviewed other rappers and highlighted other people. For 8 years, while he was working on his music, working on his grind, while he was trying to figure out his path, he was elevating others, shining a light on others for 8 years. And he realized in that process, when the doors kept getting closed on him and opened for others, that he had to boss up, that he actually had to work harder than anybody else. He realized he was going to have to outperform the competition in order to get a shot. And the reality of that is, so do you, and so do I. You and I are also going to have to outperform the competition in order to get a shot. Listen, these one-hit wonder people, these overnight, these ones that catch fire overnight or whatever, it doesn't last. It doesn't last. I'm just telling you, it doesn't last. If you're thinking there's some easy way to the top, sure, you might hang out there for a little bit. It doesn't stick. French Montana is not successful because he makes great songs. French Montana is successful because he sticks to what it takes for him to be able to get a shot. He has figured out what it takes to get somebody to open a door for him, and he continues to do that. And he continues to do it authentically. He's African born and he's proud of it. And when Morocco beats Portugal, he goes out in the middle of Times Square and he calls all of his friends and he says, hey, let's celebrate. Let's connect. He doesn't say, oh, bring my security team and make sure that there's space between me and the audience. And he doesn't say, make sure that there's only green M&Ms in my bowl. And can you pull me up to the curb and I'll step out and you could put up some red ropes. No, he didn't do none of that, dude. The guy shows up in the middle of Times Square. And he says, man, I'm just one of y'all celebrating our people. Authentic, African born, right? Just a hardworking immigrant who gives back and uses his influence to make an impact thousands of miles away. People will line up around the block for that. And I witnessed it Saturday night. But people will line up around the block for you if you're authentic, if you stay real, if you stay humble and stay true to who you are and those that helped you get there. If you use your influence and your impact to give back and to serve and highlight others, you too will have a line around the building. That is the why, that is the how, and that is the lesson. And that, my friends, is today's episode of GM3X. Jeff, hit us out of here with some awesome music. I'll be back again tomorrow morning, 5:30 a.m. We're going to do this all over again. I hope you have an amazing day. Wish me luck. I'm going to head on over to the place. We're going to compete today in the Great American Speak Off. Love you guys. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
You cannot show me a route to success that does not involve stages. There is none. You cannot give me one person on planet Earth that has ever made it, become known, improve the quality of planet Earth without having a stage. You're like, I'm the best speaker in the world, but you don't have an audience, so you're not a speaker, because a speaker has an audience.